In Chapter 3, Section 3, we're going to look at how to find the mean and standard deviation from what we call group data, and then we're going to look at weighted mean. So far we've discussed how to compute descriptive statistics. So what we mean by descriptive statistics is mean, median, mode, range, standard deviation, variance, all those things from raw data. But sometimes the only thing we have is data that's already been summarized into frequency distributions, which is what we call group data. So if you think back to us looking at the Old Faithful example, we had classes that were like 670 to 679 and then had the frequency of the number of observations that occurred that were between those time frames. Sometimes that's all we're given because we have such a large amount of data that that's all we can work with. So even though we can't find exact values of the mean or standard deviation without the raw data, we can approximate these measures using some techniques. So we're going to do that using technology. So again, I've left in some things about how to do this by hand, but it's not necessary. If you want to do that, feel free to take that approach. So first we need to recall some topics from earlier. So in Chapter 2, to find the midpoint, we want to add the lower cost limits together and then divide by 2. And then to find variance, we square the standard deviation. So first of all, let's approximate the mean. So to do that, what we're going to do is find the midpoints for all the classes, and then we're going to take the midpoint, multiply it by its frequency, and then we're going to add all of those up for each class, and then we're going to divide by the sum of the frequencies. So notice we computed the same for either the population mean or the sample mean, but there's different symbol representation for that. We also have what we call a weighted mean, so it looks very similar. So the weights are like the frequency. So weighted mean here is X bar sub W is how we represent that. So you can see the formula there. So we're going to take the weights and multiply them by the corresponding data values, add those together, and then divide by the sum of the weights. So an example here, I'm going to go through it later on, or a similar example. So standard deviation, here's the formulas for those. Again, if you want to compute them by hand, you can, but I'm going to show you guys how to use technology to find that. And then again, there's the sample one. That sums up 3, 3.